Most riders took the MSF course when we got our M1 licenses. That course, although very helpful to new riders, gives a little bit of misinformation, or at least the one I attended did. I know the course is very basic and meant for new riders who are admittedly still nervous about being on a motorcycle. But one thing that stood out to me is our explanation for braking in a corner. We were told that we need to get all our braking done before we enter the corner and not touch the front brake while in a corner, as it will make your front end tire lose grip. However, this is not true.
Here he comes.
You can see from this video that Marquez is on that front brake all the way into the apex of this corner. This contradicts what I was taught in the MSF course. Although I am not a professional MotoGP rider and by no means am I anywhere near this skill level, learning how to brake in corners, or otherwise known as trail braking into corners, is essential to any motorcycle rider, whether it's the everyday casual commuting rider or the track day warrior such as myself. The question now is, how do you trail brake? I guess that I can break it down into 3 simple steps. The first being the initial hard braking pressure zone. I said it was hard pressure braking zone because braking pressure is a key aspect to trail braking. This is as you are coming into the corner at speed and need to drop most of that speed before entering the corner. During phase 1 of trail braking, you need to be really hard on the brakes and downshift into the right gear for the corner while the bike is standing upright. As you can see here, you will notice that I am rev matching, downshifting, while maintaining a consistent braking pressure. Braking while rev matching is probably another video in itself because it is difficult to do. I recommend getting this down before even attempting the trail brake. What rev matching is that you rev the engine to the RPM it would be if it were in a lower gear. At the same time, you downshift to that lower gear and let out the clutch lever quickly to meet that rev match. This is a sub-lesson in trail braking. Step 1 is grab the clutch. Step 2 is rev the engine. Step 3 is downshift, and step 4 is let the clutch out fast to meet that rev. If you get it right, you shouldn't feel your bike jerking around once you let out the clutch. In fact, if you get it right, you shouldn't feel anything at all, because your bike is already at the RPM for that lower gear you're shifting to, and will start to use the engine to slow itself down. Phase 2 of trail braking is as you are starting to lean your bike into the corner, you start to ease off the braking pressure while maintaining a solid, consistent braking pressure. Phase 2 is where trail braking gets its name from, as you are trailing the brakes into the corner. This phase of trail braking comes down to feel. How much brake pressure are you comfortable with while leaning over? Also, you might find the limit of your tires during this phase, as it can be very easy to wash out your front end while trailing your brakes. One thing you will feel as you apply your brakes into the corner is that your bike will want to stand itself up. This happens because as you apply the front brake, the front tire wants to turn itself inward, causing the bike to stand upright, as you can see in this picture here. This is normal. You want to counter this only a little bit by pressing on the inside bar, which is here, and this is called countersteering. The final phase of trail braking is transitioning from brakes to throttle. Now, as you come into the apex, you are looking for the exit and you are looking for the throttle. By this, I mean you are looking for the soonest possible time to get on the throttle so you can pick your bike up and exit the corner. During this final phase, you want to smoothly transition from applying brake to feeding your bike gas. In this video here, I'm doing just that. Notice that I am smoothly sliding my finger off the brake while I start to get on the throttle. Now, that you might get the idea that you need to hold the brake all the way into the apex. Although this is true for some corners, it is not always the case. Sometimes you let off the brake and coast a little bit before getting on the throttle. Sometimes you don't need to brake all that deep, and sometimes you might need to. It just depends on the corner, and every corner is different. I'm just trying to give you a general sense of what trail braking is. That's the 101 on trail braking. I guess I can understand why they didn't include this lesson in the MSF course, because it's fairly complicated. I guess it would be easy just to grab a handful of brake and wash your front end out in a corner. Kind of like this guy here. I'm not making fun of this person. I think that if he knew how to trail brake, something like this could possibly have been avoided. And clearly from the video title, this isn't what happens when you brake in corners. It's what happens when you grab a handful of front brake in a corner. I kept mentioning that you have to be smooth with your braking pressure and with the transition from brake to throttle. I can't emphasize this enough, because any jerky movements while leaned over will cause your bike to get unsettled. Or it could cause the front end to wash out, or in the worst case scenario, it could high side you. One more thing is make sure that your tires are nice and warmed up before attempting trail braking, because with cold tires, you can't brake that deep as they will slip, causing you to mess up your pretty fairings. I hope this video has been somewhat informative. I hope I got everything right and I'm not spewing out just complete nonsense. And if you like the video, don't forget to subscribe. Or tell me you like this video, because I could make more like this if you guys want to see more like this. And if not, get a dislike if you hated it, if I'm full of shit. Alright, take care.